Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time seeing my face, hi, my name is Monica and I post videos all about personal finance, all about the stimulus checks, all about budgeting during a crisis, all about investing for beginners. So if you are interested in topics like those, you already know what to do. Be sure to subscribe down below to this channel. Join this community of people who are learning all about these stimulus checks. Also, please like this video, Hulk smash the like button, and turn on your post notifications so you never miss any of my stimulus check or stimulus package updates. So first things first, how are all of you? I hope you are all doing very well and enjoying the summer so far. So we do have some good news. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin said there will definitely be another stimulus package. Right now, the situation that everyone is thinking about is first, those enhanced unemployment benefits. Everyone is discussing whether or not to include them, whether or not to decrease them. They're also talking about another round of stimulus checks, how much it should be. It's also very important, specifically this year, because this is an election year and there are a lot of seats that are held by either Democrats or Republicans that are up for grabs this year. Of course, we have the presidential election as well, and a big factor in whether or not President Trump will be reelected depends on what he has done for the country and the economy up until this point. So because it is an election year, it's very, very important what they include in this next stimulus package because it will determine whether or not they get reelected. There are a lot of congressional leaders whose seats are up for grabs this year, whether that be Democrats, Republicans. Of course, we have the presidential election as well this year. So really, it's a really important time. And what President Trump and the congressional leaders decide to do for this next stimulus package will determine whether or not they get rehired. Secretary Steven Mnuchin said he had discussed with President Trump the idea of additional stimulus payments. He said yesterday, Thursday, and I quote, "It's something that we are very seriously considering." Now, the first round of stimulus checks were really meant to hold us together. They were a lifeline. The goal of the first round of stimulus checks was to enhance consumer spending, of course, to help people fill in the gaps, and so many people were laid off or they had reduced hours. There were a lot of issues, of course, in April and May, so that first stimulus check was meant to be a lifeline. Now, the real reason why it was so important is because consumer spending is a large part of the GDP, and the GDP is the gross domestic product, essentially the amount of services and goods that the US produces every year. And the higher it is, the better. So with so many people being laid off and consumers not spending, it's really, really bad for our GDP and for our economy. So their goal was to send out this lifeline, and hopefully there was more spending and people were able to at least just hold it together until we figured out what was best to do. Now, the House of Representatives voted for a second round of stimulus payments last month as part of its HEROES Act, which was the $3.5 trillion economic relief package. Those payments would be larger in the HEROES Act, offering $1,200 each for up to 3 children instead of the $500 per child that was offered in the CARES Act. The HEROES Act also covers groups that were left out of the first round of payments, such as college students, adult dependents, and households that included undocumented immigrants. Mr. Mnuchin also said it is extremely unlikely that parts of the US economy would need to shut down again, despite this surge in new cases in some parts of the country. He expects officials will make sufficient medical progress between now and the end of the year, including more testing, more treatments that will support a safe reopening of the economy. Now, the main thing that will determine how much additional support we will receive depends on how quickly the US rebounds from this crisis. It really depends on how the numbers are looking for this coming summer. If the economy snaps back this summer, it will mean less additional stimulus, unfortunately, because it means that, okay, we're reopening, things are getting back to normal, people are making money again, things are fine, so people don't need the additional stimulus. But if things start going down as more states reopen and we have more cases, it may mean even more stimulus will be needed. Now, recent data, including the encouraging May jobs report and the steadily falling initial jobless claims, suggests that there is an upturn happening in our country right now. But unfortunately, a lot of that data was incorrect, and it didn't account for the millions of people who have still not successfully applied and gotten their unemployment benefits. Now, here is the bad news. Now, Mr. Mnuchin has emphasized that economic relief in the next package should be targeted at industries and businesses that face a more difficult recovery. Now, this is unfortunate to me because we've already had big business bailouts. In fact, in regards to the PPP, they are not allowing the information to be public in terms of who was able to get a PPP loan. And the truth is, multi-million-dollar companies were able to benefit from the PPP loan, getting this taxpayer money, when there are taxpayers who are still having to choose between food and medicine. Now, there was the PPP, there was the EDL, even more money was added to the PPP. Even as recent as this month, there were more amendments made to the PPP to help businesses. So for the last couple of months, Congress and the administration has really been focusing on businesses and not really on the people. But the truth is, in order for these businesses to survive and thrive, they need people coming to their establishments and purchasing. They need people shopping at their stores, online. This is what's going to keep these businesses afloat. So a lot of measures have been taken for businesses, and I think not enough measures have been taken for the people. Now, overall, it does sound like more aid will be going to struggling workers and families, despite concerns from some Republicans about additional spending that will just add to the deficit. But we didn't seem to be so focused on the deficit and additional spending when it came to bailing out these big businesses. Secretary Steven Mnuchin said, and I quote, "Before we rush back and spend more money, whether that's $1 trillion or whether that's even more, we want to make sure we're careful in knowing how much more we need to spend." So as you can see, they are worried about overspending. They don't care how much they spend. He literally said, whether that be $1 trillion or more, as long as we are spending money and it's going to what we deem as most important, then it's okay. And that's where you come in as the constituents. You need to let your congressional leaders know that you see them, that it is an election year, and that you need to let them know what's most important to you, whether that be another round of stimulus checks, whether that be the $2,000 monthly stimulus check. A lot of seats are up for grabs this year. The Republican-led Senate, of course, the Republican leadership in terms of the president, a lot of people's positions are in jeopardy this year. And it's up to you as a people to let them know what's important to you, and that essentially your vote and their seat depends on it. And last, let's cover the enhanced unemployment benefits. So right now, congressional leaders and the administration are focused on how to create the right motivation to get people back to work. Steven Mnuchin said, and I quote, "They need to fix the issue of people making more on unemployment than they did when they were working." And truth be told, quite a lot of Americans are making substantially more on unemployment than they did when they were working. So I would foresee anywhere between $250 to $350, at least that's what they've been sending out. So I would foresee the enhanced unemployment benefits to continue after July, but they definitely will not be the $600 a week. I'm seeing a lot of numbers being thrown out there. $250 to $350 seems to be the range. So I'm thinking that the enhanced unemployment benefits will continue, but at a much lower rate, maybe half of the $600 a week. Now, in terms of when the next bill will be passed and when we can expect another round of stimulus checks, A lot of leaders are saying we can expect another stimulus payment sometime in July or August. Personally, I think that is just way too long. There needs to be some type of emergency assistance, but I think because of the enhanced unemployment benefits, a lot of leaders are saying people are fine, they're okay, they don't need the stimulus check right now because they're able to collect unemployment benefits, which add up to over $2,000 a month. So that is it. That is the end of the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of all this. Please also let me know in the comments down below if you have received your stimulus check yet. It's crazy to me that there are still people who have not received their stimulus checks yet. Please do keep me posted in the comments down below, and until next time, I will catch you all in your next stimulus check and stimulus package update.